Husband has asked for separation after infidelity. Is there any way back advice? Long story short, husband and I have been together 10 years. We're two peas in a pod and I love him immensely. I was in relationships with males and females before meeting my husband. 9 years had passed and I didn't look at anybody else or even contemplate being unfaithful. We went through a trauma 2 years ago that involved me being attacked by a dog and triggering a very severe depression and my previously managed OCD coming to light full throttle. It was a struggle and it still is. I felt I could talk to my husband about anything, but after that I felt very vulnerable, ugly, and felt he'd leave me for my insecurities and just how much of a shell of my former self I'd become. I spoke to a therapist for a year and managed to access some form of inner peace. Last year, I inadvertently started talking to a girl from work, completely innocent at first, thought I'd made a new friend and had someone with previous traumas to talk through things with. This quickly escalated, and I'm not even sure how, as the girl in question was a straight girl and had never had interest in any women before. It catapulted to a full-blown affair, with us even going on a few short breaks together. This has been going on for a year, all whilst I've been acting like nothing is wrong with my husband. My husband found out and is quite obviously heartbroken. I should have told him when it first happened. I shouldn't have carried on, and I know I shouldn't. He has asked for a separation whilst he tries to better his mental health and doesn't know whether or not he wants to work on repairing this or not. I would give my all to repair this, but I understand he needs that space. I love him more than anything, but also found myself falling for someone else. And I'm not sure if it's because I saw great similarities between her and myself and the self-love I had been told to do was skewed. Is there anything I can do at this point? I feel horrific and just want my life back with my soulmate. Let's see what you guys thinks in the comments. Odd underscore. Welcome 7,940. Says, I understand the need for details, but let me explain one thing. 50% of this post is excuses, not even good ones. Of the rest, maybe a total of 20 to 25% is about your husband. If you want to fix things, you need to realize two things. All those excuses are irrelevant to getting him to want you again or trust you. Those excuses are only relevant to you figuring out why your morals are a joke, why your husband wasn't the true priority in your life, why your own vows meant nothing to you. Those excuses are great for you healing yourself, but useless to him for now. If you're here right now at this point, your only concern should be him. That is real remorse. Tell us about how he reacted, how he feels, what he has said he needs. He should be the only thing on your mind when you think about this. The fact he isn't means you have more regret than remorse. It also means you don't deserve to have him back. Also, don't insult him or us by calling him your soulmate right now. That is kind of disgusting. It's just a selfish mechanism to try to make you feel better. He isn't your soulmate. If he was, this wouldn't have happened. If you want to be soulmates, go and work on being remorseful and making this less about your own problems and more about healing your victim. Born_physics_7821 says, you don't love him more than anything. You love yourself more than anything. The affair, as well as this attempt at reconciliation, is your love for yourself and how you can feel better. Let your husband be. You've done more than enough damage to him. Don't stress him further by asking for reconciliation. You've made your unfaithful bed. Now have the courage to lie in it. Beltway_lefty says, I'm going to be very real here. BC, you don't appear to be getting it. Yes, OP. There is absolutely something you can do. Stop making excuses and be accountable for your behavior. Leave him alone. Whatever he comes back with, just humbly accept. You know what is screaming out from this post? You don't mention that you ended it. In fact, you refer to falling for someone else. It wasn't inadvertently and didn't quickly escalate, and you're not even sure how. For an entire year you were banging someone else and going on short breaks. I assume those were vacations, trips together. You didn't do a damn thing about it until you got caught. This required tons of decisions to betray, lie, and abandon this poor guy. You made very conscious decisions over and over and over and over again to do this to him and your marriage. You found yourself virgin and got off teaching her to be exactly what you want her to be. Tell me, if this post was about a man who seduced a girl who had never had sex with men, how would the reaction go? Why should it be any different for you? You know what a ton of people with depression and OCD and trauma do? They stay faithful. So knock all this off. You will never have your life back. If he decides to try to reconcile, it will never be the same. But either way, you need to accept the consequences of your actions and figure out why you did this. For real, deep down, not the self-love I had been told to do was skewed. That's BS and putting it all on someone else. You did this. No one told you to. You owe your STBX at least that, OP. Thanks for listening to my story.